Okay, finishing up the install on the Innovate, the wideband and boost gauge. I had to change out the sensor. It for some reason had a bad sensor out of the box, so I'm just letting this cycle and make sure it reads out and does okay. We can move on to the next thing. This particular gauge is kind of my go-to gauge because it cuts down to one gauge to get a boost gauge and a wideband all in one. It's been very accurate. It's been a good gauge for me. So this where it says O2 heater should change over to that 22.4. So we're good to go on that. And I'll get out and get on to the next part. Alright, today I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the rest of the catch can setup on the Civic Si. I've already routed the two lines from the back of the block, which I'm using our billet block fitting set. And for the valve cover, I'm going to use this new level 7 billet oil cap, which is a vented system to replace the factory oil cap, and has a center baffle and allows for two 10am fittings to come out that way. It's a simplified option versus welding up a valve cover. It's clean, it's easy. So I figured I'd get some of these in stock and try them out on this car. So far, I like it. The center piece is baffled, which it comes out. And my first thought was it would have been nice to have a key to go in the center, but I realized you can use that as a key to tighten it down, and you're good to go. So I'll go ahead and get this put in place. I've already figured my angle to be 45 degree to be down to get the clearance I want. So I'll get the lines built and get this put on. While I was doing this, I figured I'd give you a quick walkthrough of how I assemble these AN hoses. I typically use vibrant fittings, so they always go together fairly easily. I measure the hoses out. I cut them we have a vibrant AN hose cutter, which keeps it simple. I cut a lot of hoses. I mean, if you don't do a lot of hoses, you probably won't have one of those, but so there's other ways to cut it. You just want to try to have a clean cut on the end. They make a type of tape that goes around the end to help simplify it, to keep it from fraying. I don't actually use the tape because I can put it together without them. You just make sure you get the hose all the way in, and you want to twist it on. And when you're putting it together, you'll see the hose pull up inside of the fitting, and you want to make sure you leave a very small gap at the top of the fitting before the hose butts up at the end. I don't know if you can see that or not. But once I get that in, I just take the other end, a little WD-40 on it to make it slide into the hose. Simple. And I'll go ahead and start the threading part by hand. And inside I have a set of AN soft jaws in a vise. So I'll go put this in the jaws and tighten it down. That way I can tighten it down without scratching the fitting, and it'll still look like new when I finish. That's basically it for this one. The catch can setup's done, the gauge is installed for the wideband and the boost gauge. Next, I'll do a general walkthrough around the car to make sure everything's good on the install. I'll put oil back in it, and we'll get it ready to get to the dyno and do some tuning on it. And I can do a more thorough walkthrough to tell you everything we've done as far as fuel, turbo setup, turbo sizing, injector sizing, all that on the car next time. So it's a very easy to duplicate type build if you want a stout street car. Again, this is a B20 VTEC, so it'll make all the torque, make the power. It's got a good sized turbo on it, so to make it a easy 400 horsepower car should be fairly simple. But I'll walk through that and show you everything we've done. And again, thanks for checking it out, and I appreciate it.